We're in the 50s at 10 o'clock, and yet Indiana tonight is bracing for a big winter storm. Welcome inside the comfy confines of the Channel 13 studios for your Tuesday. Great to be with you. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to be talking weather, all sorts of things weather related. We want to know tonight, did you go to the grocery? Did you get the milk, the eggs, the bread, some other things? What did you pick up at the grocery store? If you went at all, did you get a snow shovel, ice scraper? Let us know about that. We'll be checking in with Rich Nye, show you how the grocery stores were jammed today. Friend of the show, Emily Longnecker, will be along. There's a lot of Indiana parents trying to figure out what to do with their children now that a lot of schools are announcing that they're either moving to e-learning like IPS or being closed. So we'll go ahead and talk to Emily about that. But let's bring in Sean, because Sean has been tracking this storm for days. And Sean, I think it's important that our viewers know that really what we're talking about with this big winter storm is that this is likely to be kind of happening in two waves, right? I mean, part of our state's going to get hit tonight, and then, you know, Indianapolis, a different story tomorrow, and then Thursday it's a whole different deal, right?
I've been trying to pound home for the folks around Indianapolis. Please don't bark at us tomorrow morning when you wake up and say, what? Even tomorrow evening, there's not going to be a ton of snow around Indy. So just know that, all right? So let's set the stage again. We're starting to see the changeover on live Doppler 13 radar across western Illinois. And you mentioned it, man. If you've been outside, it feels like spring here. We're still in the 50s. That's the front that's going to need to cross through your area to flip the switch. At this hour, look at that, 52 Indy, still 43 in Lafayette. What will happen, and we'll jump ahead to midnight, and I think our particular model is probably a little too cold, but the overall ideal is that far northern and northwestern Indiana, and when I say that, I'm talking about Lafayette, I'm talking about Kokomo, by tomorrow morning, 6 or 7 in the morning, the snow should be flying pretty well up there. When you wake up around Indianapolis tomorrow morning, we're going to be close to 40 degrees with rain and the roads wet. Now, what we'll be tracking very closely throughout the mid-morning is north of 465. That freezing line is going to be kind of creeping to the south and southeast. Conceivable, already at 8 in the morning, we're dealing with anywhere from 2 to 4 inches around Lafayette. Okay, here's the Wednesday morning around Indianapolis and points to the south. Cold, wet roads. Okay, we're still hovering in the upper 30s by 10 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon, from northwest to southeast around Indianapolis, Boone County, Hamilton County, we'll start to get below freezing here, and then we'll start to get into a transition of a rain to wintry mix. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. By that time, the majority of us should be going below freezing. We could get a glaze on the roadways here before the main teeth of the storm for I-70 gets going on Thursday. Now, I will tell you, I just looked over some new data here. And we've been saying this, if we get more sleet, it's going to be less snow, okay? And that is still a possibility from I-70 to basically from Indy to Bloomington. That's a really tough forecast area for us, okay? That's where we have the greatest uncertainty. This whole thing with precipitation is done by 8 p.m. Thursday, okay? This is the forecast that is still subject to change, by the way. I feel pretty confident. Once you get north of I-74, those numbers still seem pretty good, okay? But around that purple zone, if we get several hours of sleet, and that is still on the table here, then we will cut into those snowfall totals in a big, big way here. The more significant icing in terms of freezing rain would be from North Vernon and Seymour and Bedford and toward the Ohio River. And we will have to adjust that 5 to 8 inch band as well. We'll get the model suites continuing to come in, and we'll update. I put out this this map here, Scott.
I appreciate the office reference.
I think sometimes this might help explain it. So, yeah, vanilla ice there across the Ohio River. We're snow lovers. We're excited around I-70, I-74, but as a forecaster, I'm also like Michael Scott there. I'm a little nervous that we're going to have to adjust that. And then you got the diver there going in. So again, the overall idea, when you wake up tomorrow morning, and we're sending some crews to Lafayette, the snow is going to be flying up there.
Sure is.
But, you know, I'm telling you, around the metro area tomorrow morning when you wake up, you know, just know that it's just going to be wet.
Right.
Cold rain.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got 1,400 people watching us tonight. Zach's with us. Abby saying a swan dive into snow.
There it is.
Liz is with us tonight. Charity is with us. Mandy, Barbara from Kokomo tonight. Fulton's back with us. Melody from Muncie. We've got Shannon joining us. Nancy tonight joining us. Jeff, Sharon, Janice, Carolyn, Edward. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll continue to be talking with Sean about the weather and get you a little bit more information here. And of course, be sure to join Sean and I tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. He'll break it all down. We're going to talk a lot about the weather, but we do want to step away from Sean just for a moment, though, and talk more about some of the other angles that we're going to be covering tonight on 13 News at 11. Let's bring in friend of the show, Emily Longnecker, talk a little bit about the child care dilemma, which is facing some Indiana parents tonight because they're now going on the WTHR News app and they're seeing, oh, my child's school tomorrow is closed or on a 2-hour delay. What am I going to do for child care? So, Emily, tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, you know, Scott, these are parents that we talked to today. These are folks that have been dealing for 2 years with the coronavirus pandemic, right? So a lot of the parents we talked to today said, hey, you know, this really prepared us to adjust very quickly. And so they're prepared to do that. But yes, they were monitoring the situations. You know, a lot of these parents use that before school and after school care that the YMCA provides right there at their children's school. So if classes are canceled tomorrow at your child's school and then they're on an e-learning, you cannot expect to go and drop your kid off for early care before school because the classes are all e-learning. But the YMCA telling me today, the YMCA of Greater Indianapolis, that they host in these situations, they host something called snow day camps at their 12 centers around central Indiana in all of the counties. And so you can bring your child there for the day and they are prepared to help your child with e-learning. There's no vaccination requirement. They do ask that your child will have to wear a mask. They ask you to pack lunch for your child. If you're a YMCA member, it costs you $40. If you're a non-member, it costs you $49 for the day. If you're a parent that already has your kid in before or after school care, you don't have to pay anything. So there is that option. We talked to some parents today, though, that you know, after these past 2 years, they have jobs where they are, and they're thankful for it, that they can work from home. So some parents not concerned about that because, hey, it'll just be a day of e-learning and they'll be working from home tomorrow. Of course, some parents, you have to imagine, if they don't have the option to work from home and they don't have the option to drop their child off at one of these YMCA centers, you know, they might be looking at having to call in for the day or find some kind of arrangement, a family member to come and watch their child and do e-learning, if that's the case.
Okay, you've got your heaviest coat and a hat, gloves, everything ready to go for snow team coverage tomorrow night?
Listen, you know, I started packing 2 days ago when they said, have it ready. I mean, look, you know, I like to be prepared. So I started laying out, I've got my ski pants, I've got my hand warmers. I went and bought an extra pair of gloves at the store, a nice pair with Gore-Tex. Like I'm ready. I've got my boots, my extra socks. I've got everything laid out because when you're outside reporting in it, you know, if you're not prepared, it's no fun, certainly.
Yeah. Well, you and the other reporters and photographers on our staff do such a great job, and we will hope that you stay safe and warm tomorrow night, and we look forward to watching your story tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock for a big story. Thank you so much, my friend.
We're ready. All right, see you, Scotty.
Friend of the show, Emily Longnecker, joining us tonight. She'll be part of our team coverage tonight as we look ahead to this winter storm. And I don't know about you, but I ended up going to the grocery store with my wife today to get some things. Got some chili ready to go for this winter weather. And, you know, when we checked in with Rich Nye today, Boy, Sean, he found that the Kroger on the south side was really packed and busy. Here's Rich's report.
Kroger way busier than usual for a Tuesday afternoon.
I've been hearing about the big storm coming, a storm that we've haven't seen in a while, you know, coming in town. So just trying to get stocked up on a lot of things, seeing that we've had a lot of ice coming in from what I've heard, a lot of snow.
He heard right, and now is the time to prepare.
We got to have everything they're looking for. We got to have the staples for moms and dads, everything they're looking for, what the kids need, whatever they're going to be eating at home for the next couple days in case they're not at work or at school.
Not just groceries are on the shopping list.
It's my shovel. Yes, a snow shovel. I come here for groceries, getting ready for the snowstorm.
I looked in the garage and the one we have from last year was cracked, so I thought I better come get a new one.
The gas pumps outside Kroger also busy all afternoon.
I'm going to fill my tank up and check my antifreeze and you know, get stocked in on some groceries, and because we haven't had any winter yet as far as I'm concerned.
Patty Brown has seen a few winter storms, but she's not taking any chances.
I don't know if it's all a bunch of hype, but it never hurts to be prepared.
All right, so let's address that. That one lady saying, I don't know if it's a bunch of hype.
Yeah.
What do you tell her?
Hey, look, it's not hype. I just pass it along, my friend. That's all I'm here for. You know, we're not throwing out numbers just to throw them out. So I will tell you, we're starting to see that changeover, though, Scott.
Yep.
Back over at Peoria. Moline, there it is. That's what's on the way. That's going to be moving in here. And when we get into sunrise in the morning, I think between 4 and about 6:30, we'll really start to see things cranking up across northwestern Indiana. But heads up if you're traveling 65. It's going to be a rough stretch. And 31, by the way, going north tomorrow is going to be tough too. Once you get up toward Kokomo, Tipton, we'll start to see that. Right now, though, have you been outside yet? I asked you that earlier.
You did. I've been too busy in the newsroom, but you said it felt a little like spring out there.
Yeah. And so we'll see the transition.
Yep.
But rain when you wake up tomorrow morning. But there's that snow line. There's going to be heavy snow going on tomorrow morning. We've got another couple of models coming in that we'll kind of look over here. And, you know, we always say forecast, it is a forecast.
Right.
It still can change. And but I still think Thursday and even into Friday are going to be very rough travel conditions here. And tomorrow is going to be rough going north.
Yeah, and if you've got to be out in this tomorrow, make sure you've got some blankets, make sure you've got some snacks, some water, bring a shovel with you in case you end up in a drift or in a ditch. Make sure that your phone is fully charged. Make sure you've got batteries. Make sure that you are ready to go just in case the power goes out. You end up, hopefully we don't have any accidents with you involved tomorrow, but obviously we want to make sure that you are prepared and ready to go. Make sure your car is gassed up and that's ready to go. What else am I forgetting in terms of what people should be thinking about if they're on the road tomorrow? Driving around.
Again, it's north, you know, so we're talking north around Indy, because somebody asked, what do you think the roads are going to be like around Indy? I'm like, they're going to be wet. So,
yeah, wet tomorrow,
you know, Thursday for statewide travel is going to be the rough one, because, you know, that's when we'll have blowing, we'll have drifting. Yep. We'll wait and see if we get this band of sleet.
Yeah. Hope that doesn't happen.
I think that's going to happen somewhere. It's just a matter of exactly where that's going to be. But the more blowing and drifting, I believe, will be on Thursday. And possibly at times we're going to have near whiteout conditions because we'll get into some pretty stiff wind.
Right.
And as we've said the last couple of days, even though the last flake of snow might be around 8, 9 o'clock Thursday p.m., because we're going to be nowhere near freezing, these road crews that are going to be working around the clock.
Right.
It's just going to be a slow improvement to the roads. And as you travel south, because the ice potential is a little greater down there, I had some people say, hey, I'm trying to get down to Louisville, or Louisville's going to get, that area right along the Ohio River, and especially maybe just a little bit south, they could have an ice storm, full-fledged ice storm down there.
And that's going to probably lead to power outages.
And bad road conditions. It might be impassable down there, come later Thursday. So. And again, in the wake of this, We're going to have near single digits Friday morning, and we'll have sub-zero Saturday morning.
Whew, gosh, all right. A lot to talk about on 13 News at 11. Sean and Swan will be with you at that point. Thanks so much for joining us here on Facebook. We'll see you tonight on 13 News at 11. Good night.